Welcome to our discussion, folks. Today we're diving into this intense topic where, well, the plans to end the world are claimed to be real.
Yep, that's a headline that really grabs you, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And it's driven by Professor Ivana Nikolic-Hughes, who, as you know, is the Director of Frontiers of Science at Columbia University.
Right.
She's also the president of the Nuclear Age Peace Foundation, which adds a significant weight to her perspective.
Exactly. And she brings in years of experience, especially since she's been working with her students on non-proliferation and disarmament measures.
Yeah, and that's what's really compelling here. I mean, her discussion touches on the stark reality that some global forces, whether it's nuclear threats, climate change, or the misuse of scientific advancements, could very well set the stage for catastrophic outcomes.
Yep, that's something. So, what do you think is the crux? Are we talking about intentional plans by certain powers or more like systemic risks that we all face?
It's a bit of both, really, yeah. On the one hand, there are deliberate actions and policies that may, intentionally or not, escalate situations. And on the other hand, these risks are amplified by our own technological and political missteps.
Exactly. Right. And it's interesting. Mainstream narratives often ignore these subtle signals. But here, Ivana Hughes seems to suggest there's a blueprint for potential world-ending strategies hidden in plain sight.
Yeah, it's like when you walk by a ticking time bomb, but most people are looking at their phones, not really noticing the danger.
Yeah, I love that analogy. And it makes you wonder, are we simply passive bystanders? Or could we actively counter these trends?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? Professor Nicolich Hughes argues that awareness and informed action, especially in academia and policy circles, is our best defense.
Right, right. But some critics might say she's painting too dire a picture, almost like it's a conspiracy. What are your thoughts on that?
That's a fair point. You could interpret it that way. But I'd say her strength lies in basing her claims on decades of research in nonproliferation. It's not about conspiracies, it's more about documenting trends and policies that have really dangerous implications.
Still, there's a fine line between caution and paranoia, isn't there?
True, and that's why the deliberate involvement of trustworthy institutions like the Nuclear Age Peace Foundation matters. They're, dedicated to understanding and mitigating these
Exactly.
risks.
And let's not forget her academic role as a senior lecturer in the Department of Chemistry at Columbia. That adds a layer of scientific validity to her warnings.
Precisely. It underscores that these aren't abstract fears, but are grounded in scientific observation, analysis, and even in the energy sector's impact, like burning fossil fuels leading to climate change.
Yeah. Interesting how she ties the environmental challenges such as climate change to broader existential risks, right?
Exactly. It's like you have multiple crises converging: nuclear, environmental, geopolitical, and each one could, on its own, unsettle our world. But together, their impact might be exponentially worse.
I get that. Right. And her video runs nearly an hour. That tells you there's a lot to unpack beyond sloganeering.
Indeed, there's depth to explore. She discusses how policy decisions, like arms deals and energy policies, map out a future that might not be sustainable.
Yeah, it's a bit sobering. And then she ties in how historical trends often repeat: wars, disarmament efforts, and then new arms races. It's almost cyclical, isn't it?
It really is. And the idea is that if we don't learn from our past, we are doomed to repeat dangerous mistakes, much like, say, an unstoppable loop that's faster and faster with each repetition.
Gotcha. But I wonder, doesn't that leave us feeling a bit helpless? How do we move from knowing that ahead of us to actually taking action?
That's the crux of it, really, yeah. The discussion suggests that informed communities, academia, policymakers, even citizens, must push for transparency and effective international agreements.
Yeah, interesting. Because if you look at organizations like ICANN and even the United Nations, their initiatives are there, though progress can be painfully slow.
Correct. And that's why her role as a bridge maker between scientific research and political activism is so vital. It means that these aren't just academic musings, they're calls to action.
Exactly. So essentially, she's urging us to recognize how policy decisions, technological advancements, and large scale environmental changes are all interlinked.
Yes, yeah. It's an intricate web where one loose thread, like unregulated nuclear proliferation, can unravel a lot of what we hold dear. It's like having an unstable house of cards.
That's a vivid picture. Speaking of interconnected issues, I noticed that the discussion also touches on how these global challenges have geopolitical implications, don't they?
Indeed. The narrative also points out that geopolitical rivalries, especially involving nuclear arsenals, are central to the theme. It's not just abstract, it's very real in terms of global power plays.
Right, definitely. And while some might argue that we've managed to avoid major conflicts since um, World War II, these plans shine a light on the potential for resurgence in danger.
Absolutely, and it's a reminder that peace isn't a given. It must be constantly fought for, either through disarmament or by institutional checks.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, isn't it striking how science, a field known for progress, is also linked to these dire predictions? It almost seems paradoxical.
It does, and in a way, it's like the dual edged sword of modern technology. While science offers solutions, it also harbors the potential for immense harm if misapplied.
No doubt. And that's where informed discourse becomes the battleground, to ensure scientific advancements benefit humanity without leading us to self destruction.
Right on. So, in essence, the discussion isn't about doom laden predictions for the sake of alarm. It's about fostering a critical awareness of policies and trends that, if left unchecked,
Yeah, exactly.
could steer us toward irreversible damage.
But don't you think sometimes the focus on these cataclysmic scenarios might inadvertently create more fear than constructive dialogue?
Fair point, and I do see that risk. However, I'd respectfully challenge that by saying that sometimes highlighting the extreme possibilities is necessary to overcome complacency. It's like shining a bright light on a dark corner.
I can see that. That makes sense. And it certainly pushes us to think critically instead of just accepting the status quo.
Exactly, and that's the core takeaway. By linking science, policy, and activism, these discussions encourage us not to just wait for a crisis, but to engage proactively in shaping our future.
Definitely. So, if we step back a bit, it seems that the danger isn't so much in an imminent apocalypse, but rather in a gradual slide toward conditions that could, one day, lead to disaster.
Precisely, it's a cumulative effect, a series of missteps which together might have a tipping point. It's like building pressure that eventually leads to an explosion.
Yeah, that analogy really hits home. Well, that's a lot to chew on. It definitely makes our conversation today not just about a sensationalist title, but a deeper look into the intertwined nature of technology, policy, and global security.
And I'd say that's what makes this dialogue both urgent and necessary. We owe it to ourselves to stay informed and ask the hard questions before it's too late.
Absolutely. Thanks for bouncing around these ideas with me. It's been both thought provoking and, energizing to discuss these big picture challenges.
For sure. As always, keep questioning, keep reflecting, and remember that our collective future depends on it. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks a lot.